Hey guys, it's Randy. I wanted to come on really quickly, hopefully, right, and show you a journal that I did for a swap in a Facebook group. The theme of the journal is Vintage Mermaid. It was one signature with a few other little specifications that I met. The size of the journal is 9 by about 6.5 with the cover. It's a Tyvek envelope that I put some fabric over, and this is some pretty blue silk. And what I did here is I just cut out some circles of some other material that I had and made it into what I thought looked like fish scales. And then around the edging, to add to the vintage theme, I put some lace. This closure is just some seam binding of some beautiful sea colors and some yarn and some regular ribbon. The signature is actually not attached to the cover, and I didn't want to attach it because I didn't want to have to sew through this fabric here, and I thought it kind of took away from the outside of it anyway, so I left it. You can see the whole thing here, but I just thought the cover was so pretty on its own that I didn't want to sew through it. So the journal is freestanding, the signature is rather, and is one signature sewed together, 15 pages or so, which was the requirement. I used a lot of my ink dyed paper or ink sprayed paper that I did this summer, and I laid some leaves on there, some wet leaves, and then sprayed ink on them, various colors, and I thought these just really look like water. It looks like that leaf is floating around in the water here, and then on the back page is kind of the same thing. They turned out so dark and nice that it reminded me of water versus, woodland or something like that, so I thought they went perfectly with this theme. I tore the edges of these paper so that it would look like water, and this is not my original idea. I got this idea from watching Jibid Neary. She does fabulous journals, and I've been following her on YouTube for a while, so thank you, Jibid, for that awesome idea. You can see, just the colors come through. It just looks like the ocean. It's a pretty cool concept. So on the front, I have put a mermaid tail, and this is actually some vintage fabric here. These were actually leaves that I cut off of some material, and I thought they would look fabulous for her tail. And so I put some flowers on here and a couple of little flatback pearls, a little bit of bling, and then some little metallic stuff that I got in a roll. I'm not really sure what you call it, but it's metallic-y. It's hard, it's not soft. So I thought that looked really cute, kind of looked like scales as well on there. Got right here, this is not a pocket, it's just on here. It says she stood in the storm, and when the wind did not blow her way, she adjusted her sails. I like that saying a lot. Got some tatted lace back here. Some vintage lace under the little seahorse here with a beautiful sky scrapbook paper. I've used several different kits here. I couldn't find one that I liked on its own, so I used partial from Artymaze, Miss Cog, and from Sheila's Studio28E, and so I'll kind of point out in here what was what. I may not remember exactly which one is which, but I'll try my best. So this one is from one of the kits, and I'm struggling to remember which one it is, but it's a mermaid song. And this is just some fussy cut from some scrapbook paper with some stickles on it. You can see the little glitter there. I've got some antique lace down here with some cheesecloth that I dyed, sprayed that same ink spray, and then a little flower down here. Here's another one of my pages. And this is some scrapbook paper that I thought looked like water that I put in here, and I just distress the edges and rip the edges. You guys know me, I don't like straight edges anyway, so I always kind of do that anyway. This is this is part of a doily. And there's a couple of doilies in here that I've used that kind of remind me of rope, and this is one of them. And then I put some more of that fabric. There's a couple places that I've used that in here. And I got some of these cute little garment pins from Laura from the Papered Soul, and I've used those throughout here as well. This is just a little key and a little, looks like a mother of pearl shell, and it's kind of flat on the back, not shiny. It's color-wise anyway. This is a turtle from the scrapbook paper. You can see here's some more of that that I used up there. And then here's just some cheesecloth down here and some more of that scaly looking metallic stuff and some flatback pearls. Did a little bit of stamping on here behind the turtle. I thought he was gorgeous. And here's just a belly band with some ribbon and some yarn across it, and I added a little shell. And then for her, she's just a little journaling card. And then this was part of a doily that I added on here. Again, it kind of reminded me of rope. And then I put a little flower on there. Here's another one of my pages. And a beautiful mermaid in the bottom of a boat. It looks like sleeping with some fun fur, I guess, yarn on there and a little bit of bling. Some more of that scrapbook paper. This piece of scrapbook paper I've used throughout here as well, and it is so pretty. It reminded me of water lilies and things like that, and it just, I don't know, it was very pretty. This is a picture from one of the kits. I don't remember which one. And the octopus is from the scrapbook paper that I just fussy cut out, and I did a little stamping on here like I did the turtle. Here's one of the printouts from one of the kits, and there is some tatted lace underneath here. I sewed around this pocket, and then there's a little bit of bling right here. I hope you can see okay. It's really late, and I'm just trying to get this video done. I've had this journal done for a while, and I just haven't had time to video it, so hopefully you can see. Here's a journaling card, and I don't know if you can see this, but this scrapbook paper has a bit of a shine to it. It kind of looks glittery on there. Thought that was really pretty. This is more of my paper, and I put a doily in here. I was going to use that for the middle of the signature, but it kind of flopped around too much, and the layout of the pages didn't flow like I wanted them to, so I changed them around a little bit and put this one. But here's just some music paper. Again, I have torn the edges, and then I've sewn the pocket onto the music paper, which I then glued onto the paper, so it didn't come through on the other side. I don't like for it to do that unless there's something that's going to cover it up on the other side. But this is a printout from, I believe this is from Sheila's kit, and then, Sherry's. And here's some little maidens, and it looks like the mermaids are, this mermaid is waving to her other friends to come over, and they look a little scared, so I thought that was kind of funny. There's some more of that really pretty scrapbook paper. A couple of tags. I've just put some mermaid scrapbook paper on the back, and some really beautiful seam binding. I don't know if you can see that really pretty pale green color on there. This is actually vintage seam binding. It's not anything that I've bought new. So these, I didn't dye this or anything. It came this color. It's coffee dyed paper. This is the middle of the signature. And here's a printout from one of the kits. And then a little picture of a handsome man with a mermaid. I'm not sure if you can see that. Little teeny tiny picture. A lot of the pictures that I was printing out were really small. That's why I was having a bit of a problem with the kit. You know, getting a good mermaid representation. So I think these may have been, this could have been Artymaze. I don't know. Again, I'm confused at which one is which now after I've gone back and looked at it. But this is some scrapbook paper from, I think, an 8x8 paper pack that I had. And I love seahorses. If you hadn't noticed, my Etsy shop name is Speckled Seahorse, and so I changed my YouTube name to Speckled Seahorses as well. And so I just love little seahorses. Here is some music paper again, and I have distressed the edges, and again sewed this pocket onto there and glued that down. And this is several layers of fabric. This is some cheesecloth. This is some velvety fabric. This is some really cool fabric that looks like water. And then there's some green, just plain green under there. And this piece of fabric kind of goes all the way down, and I put some blue lace over that. You can barely see it there, but it just gives it a little more texture. And then I fussy cut out a flower from another piece of fabric and put it on here. And this beautiful mermaid I printed from online. I think I may have gotten her from Pinterest with her baby. And added a flower for the top and added some pearls and some scrapbook paper on the back. Here's the other side of that doily and some more of my paper. This I know came from Sherry's kit. It says, "The sea, once it casts its spell, holds one in its net of wonder forever," from Jacques Cousteau. And I remember as a kid growing up to watch him, and I used to love him, and I was just so amazed by the ocean. So this is part of a doily that I was referencing earlier that looked like rope that I put underneath there. Some more of that fussy cut flower from that scrapbook paper that I love so much, and some more cheesecloth and a little bit of bling and a mermaid. Here is one of the printouts from one of the kits, and I've sewn around it and put some starfish scrapbook paper on the back. Here's some tatted lace down here and some cheesecloth and a flat back pearl. In here I've got one of those little tags with that pretty seam binding on it. And then this was a piece of scrapbook paper that came in an 8x8 pack, and it's, you know, like an aerial view of the globe, and it's got the latitude and longitude lines. It's really cool. And I just distressed it and scrunched it up a lot, and kept scrunching and scrunching and scrunching until it feels like fabric or cloth. So I wanted that map to look like it was really old and it had been used. And of course, you know, if you're a mermaid, you're not using paper underwater, right? You're using something else. I distressed it around where the map was sitting, so it looks like it had been there for a really long time. Some more of that beautiful scrapbook paper, some lace, and some blue lace going across there, some cheesecloth and a flat back rose. Starfish scrapbook paper, and this is another mermaid tail, and this is some black sparkly material, and then this is that other wavy watery material on there that I put on her fins and on her tail. And then just added some pretty flowers on there to make it more vintagey. And you can take that off, that's not attached to that, so you can journal on this page. And then this is a belly band out of that really pretty scrapbook paper, some cheesecloth that I sprayed, and a flat back pearl. This is just some music paper that I backed with some scrapbook paper that I thought was really pretty for journaling purposes. And then I stamped it with the compass here. And this is a picture from Sherry's kit as well, the Studio28E. And I backed it with some scrapbook paper that looks like clouds that I thought was gorgeous. I think the name of Sherry's kit is the Adventurous Sea. And this page I love. I did some book page here and then put some coffee dye paper on it and did a belly band. And then, so you could journal on there if you wanted to. And then I made some extra journaling space. Since this is only one signature, you know, just some coffee dye paper in here for some little journaling. And I topped it with that beautiful paper and then sewed across. I love making those little notebooks. I think they're pretty. There's that watery scrapbook paper and some doily up here. One of Laura's pins and that little dangle again, that little shell dangle. And some ribbon and yarn. It's got a little sparkle to it. It's the back side of my paper. And here's another little belly band from that watery paper, and then piece of scrapbook paper that I tore and put on there. And there's another little book, and this is that same paper here. It's that watery paper with another little mermaid image on there. Again, just some coffee dye paper in there for journaling. And this is the last page. A couple of tags in here with some of the seam binding. I did a couple different colors on those. And this is a double pocket, so pocket here and a pocket there. And this is a printout from one of the kits. And I sewed around there. And then this piece of fabric right here is actually from Sheila's boho textile kit that she does. And it looked like a nautilus to me, so I put it on there. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I thought that was really pretty, and that went really well. And then that's it. Then there's that beautiful leaf floating around in the water again. And this journal is going to South Africa for the swap. And so I hope my swap partner enjoys it, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!